Hey, welcome to Old Ass Movie Reviews. I'm Scott, and there is Dave, and we are taking it back 70 years to 1954's The Creature from the Black Lagoon. Universal's Monsters. Here we go.
Yeah.
Hadn't seen this movie since 70s when it would be on 3D, in 3D on TV, and you'd have to go adjust your television. But first, you had to go to the local grocery store or drugstore to get some red and blue glasses, or they came in the newspaper.
Uh-huh.
I didn't remember a damn thing from this movie. It was like my first watch. I was like, okay,
Nice.
I've seen it, but here we are. Here we are.
Yeah.
I like it. It's the outfit, the costuming is
Oh, yeah.
insane in this movie. It is so good. What was her name? Who had created?
Trisha, I sent that to you.
Yeah, you did.
The woman who designed the Creature from the Black Lagoon's costume. Her name was. Of course, no, I can't.
Of course, we can't find it when the time comes. But Millicent Patrick.
Millicent. Why do you want to call her Patricia?
I don't
Millicent
know.
Patrick. Yeah. I was shocked because I had heard this many years ago and forgot that a woman had designed it. And then just recently I started spotting her like here and there throughout um like not TikTok because I don't do TikTok, but on Instagram and stuff like that. And I started looking into her a little bit and I was like, oh crap. And a few weeks ago, because of seeing her, I was like, I'm gonna watch that movie again. This is a really good costume. And I watched it again and I was like, oh, that's a good movie. And it had been probably the same amount of time that you were saying, like 20 years. And then you said you wanted to do it again. So I just rewatched it here and there as I was doing some other things to kind of refresh my memory.
Yeah.
And she was one of the first females to be hired by Disney as an animator.
Oh, she's in it. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I was dumbfounded by that. But her costume, that she did it from head to toe. Every inch of that was her concept, her design. And evidently, the guy that did the makeup for the movie was so jealous of her getting any kind of recognition that he tried to say he did it. And for years, people thought that he had designed the costume because
Wow, what a
he kept her
jerk.
name off of the credits for creature design.
Damn.
Now,
that's
how in
so
the
wrong.
fuck? I don't give a shit who you are or what year it is. How do you allow that to happen to your person that designed one of the greatest creatures in cinematic history?
Let's take a moment before we dig into the meat of this movie. And since we're talking about the creature design, it is very well done. The movie does set up kind of talking about how evolution and how creatures came out from the sea, and they're kind of set this up for you to be thinking about the creature as like the link between the ocean and the missing link between the water and the land. Where did we come up? So that is that's a really neat concept. So the costume is designed around that. The creature still has gills, but can breathe some on water. And the actor playing the two different actors, one for the water scenes, one for the on land. I love it. Anytime he surfaced or was on land, he's moving his mouth and gasping like a fish would.
Yeah.
And it's it's subtle, really, and it's like, oh, look at this.
And that costume, I was looking at the mouth today as he's doing that. I'm looking in the mouth like you can't see.
It's so well done.
You can't see a human face under netting or anything.
I don't know how they did it.
They did a really good job back then. 1954. This costume,
1954,
and the design still stands up today.
This costume works so well in the water that it doesn't look like a costume.
No, it does not.
When the actor is swimming in it, because they're obviously, I have a feeling there's a hidden tank or something, because I do see bubbles coming out.
It's on its back.
Okay,
they had the tank built into the costume.
It's wonderful. It is so neat that they did this. All the underwater shots, a fight scene underwater. This movie's intense, and it's impressive that the shots that they got and how they could make Florida look like the Amazon.
what kills me is that's another thing I was thinking about is it's hard today to film underwater.
Mm-hmm.
It must have been a near impossibility
That's all I could
back in
think of. It's like, oh my
1954.
God, I feared for the actors.
Yeah, where they filmed this at was in parts of Tallahassee,
Silver Springs.
parts of Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
I had the names of it here.
Yeah. And
Let me
Silver
look at it.
Springs was the
Yeah,
other.
the film was shot entirely on location in Florida, which stands for the Amazon jungle. Many of the film's iconic scenes were shot in and around Wakula Springs,
Wakula, that was the other one. Yeah.
Silver Springs, and Jacksonville, Florida. And I'm really ticked off that I didn't realize this then. I knew it was shot in Florida, but I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
where. I
Now,
always thought it was down like in Orlando. I'm so
Silver
ticked off at myself for not knowing that because I would have hung out when I was living in Jacksonville. I would have went looked at all these places.
right now, Silver Springs, is that where they filmed Tarzan as well?
I think they filmed some Tarzan there. I know they filmed some Tarzan movies or some of the old series of
Yeah.
Tarzans out towards uh, lake or it was a river, Weewahitchka River.
Mm-hmm.
There's a spot. There's a little island out there someplace that has a ton of freaking monkeys on it. And the
Really?
monkeys got the monkeys got put there because they were filming Tarzan. Some of the monkeys escaped. So now you
Monkey
got
Island.
like an entire island with monkeys on it. And they're like, we tell people not to go there.
Not to Monkey Island. No.
They're just those little freaking like spider type monkeys or whatever. I'm not even sure what
That's
the hell
awesome.
they are. I remember when I was much younger going fishing with a guy, one of my friends from school, and he was telling me about this, and I thought he was pulling my leg. I said, no fucking way. And we're going down the river, and you could see the monkeys in the tree. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I was like, in Florida? I don't know how they live through the winter. I don't know if they've all been wiped out. And this has been 30 years.
Yeah.
30 years since I was down in that river.
Well,
but they were already there for 30 or 40. So I have no idea.
Once they elected Caesar to be their leader, then things took a dark turn. Yeah.
Things got ugly. And they had the big statue of the lady with the torch, and it just weird. Things got weird.
Got really
back
weird.
To this movie. I would love to go down to Silver Springs and take a look.
It would be neat. It would be neat.
Because those underwater scenes in that area does look like
it looked great, man.
It looks like a jungle.
Yeah,
it says here Universal Studios backlot in Florida.
Right.
Park Lake on the Universal backlot. So that must be something fairly new. It's just crazy. I can't imagine filming again 1954. Air conditioning, I think they had it, but I'm not sure how reliable it was.
These poor bastards didn't, I'm sure.
Yeah, those people, they were hot. Yeah, let's go out on the boat on the water with the mosquitoes. We don't have anything invented yet to keep mosquitoes off you. You're just gonna have to rough it.
Damn.
Oh, those poor people. I mean, that's all I was thinking about. The cameramen, the water cameramen. I don't know what kind of equipment you would use back in 1954.
Well, you saw they did a scene where they were trying to get a photograph of the creature, and you saw the size of the camera. I mean, 1954, that thing was the size of a giant typewriter or copy machine. Now I could take my phone underwater right now and shoot with it.
Put an otter box on it and go down. Yeah.
I don't even need that.
You don't?
No.
What the hell kind of phone you got? I need mine.
The new iPhones are waterproof, man. They have been since I think the 10 or above.
I don't trust mine to be waterproof.
I don't trust it, but I've been with people when they've dropped it in a creek and it works just fine.
No kidding.
Yeah. Wow. Pretty amazing.
That's crazy.
I know, it scares me. I work with somebody who showers with their phone. It's like, God, can you not live without your phone for a few minutes?
Put it down, turn it off.
Yeah.
I have mine on right now because I'm looking at some of the stuff that I pulled up that I didn't know if you knew about the woman that designed.
I did. What's funny is I've been seeing a lot about this. And I want to take a quick second to give a shout out to a childhood friend that I've known since I was 8 years old. who contacted me a while back and said, "Hey guys, you should do the
Mhm.
creature of the Black Lagoon from the Black Lagoon
Oh,
for the 70th
no
anniversary."
kidding.
So, Paul, thank you. We're doing it now. I'll let you know that it's on.
Very
So,
cool. That's
yeah,
very cool.
yeah. So it was uh, this movie I liked. Uh, however, I do have a more of a fondness for Guillermo del Toro's The Shape of the Water, which is his take
Right.
on this story.
Yeah, yeah.
But he also had a major budget.
Mhm. Well, it was
And
wasn't he supposed to be doing Creature from the Black Lagoon,
yeah,
and
so that was
Universal
his take.
started screwing with him, and he's like, "Fine, I'll go do my own movie. Thank you. Have a
Yeah,
nice
it
day."
was, well, he was set to do it because Tom Cruise's Mummy had just come out and bombed.
Right.
And Universal said, "That's it, we're done. No more Dark Universe." And so Del Toro was left holding the bag because in the Tom Cruise Mummy movie, it ends. There's a final scene that shows the creature's hand in a jar of formaldehyde in a lab. And I think the creature was supposed to be the next movie that they did, but instead
Right.
we got Shape of the Water, which is a Creature from the Black Lagoon story. It's
And
really good.
Del Toro does a good story. I haven't seen it, but I know
Oh,
you told me
it's
it was a good
phenomenal,
movie.
man.
So I'm going to
Phenomenal.
say yes, that's a good movie.
Yeah, it's good.
I don't understand why they wouldn't have let him finish his story because that made money. That
Oh
was a
yeah,
successful movie.
it got Academy Award, I think, for Best Picture. So there's a
So
reason for that.
somebody in Universal got fired for that, right? I mean,
Probably.
somebody walked up to the guy who's canceled that movie and said, "Bob, you're fired,"
Del
or "Frank,
Toro
you're
is,
fired."
yeah, with Del Toro is pretty much a box office guarantee. He's going
Yeah,
to make a good freaking movie.
he's gonna make a good movie, and he's gonna at least make you back the money you spent
Yes, you're at least going to
initially.
get that out of him. You're not going to lose with Del Toro. So the fact that they
Yeah.
did that just blows my mind, man.
The worst is you're gonna break even,
Yeah.
and I don't. That just hurts my head. I want to watch that movie, but
I highly recommend. Doug Jones is incredible as the creature.
on that note, on the Del Toro Shape of Water, there is a scene in The Creature from the Black Lagoon which is romantic and creepy at the same time. It's when the girl's swimming. She's
Mm-hmm.
swimming to the boat, and the creature spots her.
Yes,
And he's like, "What?"
he's
He's like, "What the hell is
fascinating.
that?" Yeah, he's like, "What is that? That's different."
I don't
And
think the
he
creature would have
starts
ever
swimming
hurt her.
after. Huh?
Yeah, I don't think the creature would have ever hurt her.
I don't think he was
Not
planning on it.
intentionally. No.
No, no, not at all. I don't know what he was going to plan on doing with her because he was a fish, but that's beside the point.
Fish babies.
Uh, fish babies. Take after your mother, you air breather.
Baby fish man.
Uh,
I'm sorry.
but there's a scene where she's swimming and he's swimming behind her, and
Yes.
you see him like getting real closer to her foot. He's like reaching, and then he stops trying to catch her foot and he starts swimming underneath her, but he turns upside down to be looking
Yeah.
up at her while she's swimming. So they're swimming like almost
It's pretty
stomach to
cool.
stomach. He's like
It's like
real close
Maverick
to her.
up above a communist in his fighter.
Yeah, of a common jet fighter. But he's swimming and he's just like he's fascinated by whatever this thing is in the water.
Yeah.
And she keeps swimming and she's getting ready to go on the boat. She's kind of treading water, and he's looking at her feet like, why didn't she have webbed feet? You just see all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing going on this mask. It's all in the actor cocking his head and looking around.
Nails it, dude.
You just know this creature's thinking, what is this? She doesn't have webbed
Mm-hmm.
feet. And he goes to touch her foot.
Yeah.
And it got this hand. It's like
It's
three
it's
hands
freaky,
my
man.
size.
With big claws
It's
and
huge. And he got big webs. And he's going to touch her foot. And she feels something on her foot. But she's like, what is that? She finally goes down and looks underwater and goes underwater. But by the time she takes a breath, goes down underwater to swim down a little bit to look around, that sucker's already in the bushes,
yeah.
or seaweed. He's gone. That's how fast this thing can swim. He can swim like a freaking torpedo.
Yeah.
But I think that's probably one of the most romantic and most terrifying things that I could think to put anybody in a situation like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was neat, and I bet you that is what Del Toro took away from this movie, and that's why he made The Shape of the Water pretty much a romantic movie.
Right.
with a love story with the fish.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
and it's so well done. This is well done. This is the action scenes. As you mentioned, the actor, I forgot his name, the one who did the underwater stuff, it was very subtle because when I watched that scene, I
Right.
felt the same thing that you did. It's
I
like,
think his name
okay,
is Browning.
yeah,
Rico Browning.
Rico
Yeah.
Browning. That I felt the same thing. It's like, wow, look at this. Dude, I hated, I think his name was Dave, his boss, Mark.
What a dick. You hate
But
that guy like right off the bat.
But he is in every movie. That
Yeah.
dick is in every monster movie. All he wants is a trophy. We're going to kill it. We're going to kill it. And it's like, oh, God. And because of that, you
Why
know.
do you want to kill it? Well, that's what the guy asks you. Why do you want to kill it?
Yeah.
We got to kill it. Why? Because we gotta kill this thing.
Pretty much. There's always one douchebag that is like, we got to kill it. You're right.
And the sad thing is, when you watch something like on hunting the Bigfoot and people just want to take a picture, they're like, I just need a clear shot. I want to prove that this thing. And you have another guy going, we got to kill that thing and bring it back.
That's the only way to prove.
It's like, why? Because it's the only way to prove it. No, there's a million other ways to prove that thing's still alive. You're just too stupid to think of another way.
Yeah. And that's just it. And that was necessary. That caused things to escalate. You had to. This is pretty much by the numbers. This,
right.
This is
the Universal monster movie.
It's
what this is. Like you said, it's by the numbers.
It's by the numbers. It's guy, Universal.
Damsel in distress. The dick doctor.
Yep.
And I don't mean
it's
dick
a setup.
Doctor. I mean the dick that's a doctor.
They also had the main guy. He was a fish scientist.
Yeah.
An ichthyologist there, a fish scientist. I'm a fish scientist.
I love the skeleton of cadaver. I'm a rock scientist. I'm a fish scientist.
I'm a fish scientist.
I would have never fallen in love with you if you weren't a fish scientist.
Yes.
Folks, if you don't know what we're talking about, go find a movie called Skeleton of Cadaver. Watch it. It's hysterical.
It is.
You can even
great.
watch them out of order, really. You can watch the second one, The Return of the Skeleton to Cadaver Island, or whatever it's called.
Oh, my God.
It's just as funny. I got to, if I can ever find a copy of it, I'll buy one because, God, it's funny.
Yeah.
The sequel to it is even funnier than the first one. Because you know what the first one is based on.
You know that, yeah. You know what you're in for. And that was it. When we watched that, I didn't know what I was in for. I knew what I was in for this because, as you said, it is a Universal monster movie. It's well done. I do need to put this out here for those of you watching at home.
Right.
Don't watch it on... well, I have it on Blu-ray, the Universal Blu-rays, and they look phenomenal. They look great. But this time I decided to put it in my 4K player, and it upscaled it to 4K. And it was jarring how beautiful the movie was, but it didn't even look real anymore. And it's like, I can't even watch. It needs to have that old feel. It looked too good.
Too much.
It was too much. So just a heads up, tone it back a little bit. Don't watch it above 1080p. At least that was my experience. Now, a 4K stream may look a lot different because my PlayStation 5 probably upscaled it in some weird way, and it just did not look right. But, yeah. Anyway,
that's my big problem with upscaling movies, like with the 4K, like you said. I remember seeing the Star Trek original series after they cleaned it up and upscaled it. And I think at that point they were only doing like 2K.
It was up
2K,
to just 1080.
And that was way too cleaned up.
Mm-hmm.
Because you could see the coffee stains on Spock's shirt. You could see, the stuff that's completely lost on regular TV, and they didn't worry about back in the day because of the lighting. And they're like,
well, you couldn't see it now. Yeah.
And now you see every little thing. You see every little line. It's like, I don't want to see that. I need this toned down a little bit.
Now, some movies do at least keep it artistic, and while that may be a 4K movie, it still has film grain added in. In a way to make it still look very good, but very film-like. And that's just it. When you watch certain things, I want my movie to be at 24 frames and and feeling like a movie does. When you get up to 60 frames plus and smooth motion like you're watching a sports game, it's almost like home video. And
Yeah,
that
yeah,
now I'm no longer watching a movie. I'm watching some high school film students, and that's where
yeah.
it gets kind of weird.
It's like I remember the first time Kat and I had got a new television. We got like the DVD player and all this, and we're like, this is gonna be great. We got Wizard of Oz.
Uh-huh.
Put the disc in. I adjusted. I don't even know if I could do it now, but I had that sucker adjusted like the tippity top, tits
Right.
on. It was too clear. Her and I both looked at each other. It was like, wow, that's amazing for about 2 minutes. And then I was like,
Yep.
I've got to adjust this. This is killing me. I said, I can't even watch this. And she's like, you're right. And I went back in and I readjusted it to where, like you said, it took it back down a little bit to where I'm like, okay, this is what I remember. This is what I want to see.
There
But
is
this movie, I can't imagine it being that clear when, especially
it
underwater
was
scenes.
insane. It was insane. It looked great, but it didn't look like a movie anymore.
Yeah.
And I was too lazy to get up and go to another room. I didn't want to take out my Blu-ray and walk to the other room. It's like, I'm comfortable right here reclining. This is a good spot.
I get it.
But yeah, it's one of the things that go with that, and it's not really related to the movie, but new televisions ship with certain settings defaulted to on. And one of them is something that completely smooths and makes things look so fake, like you're actually really, that's like we're saying, they're too good, too good.
Yeah.
Sports game's fine, but
I
movies,
don't like that for me.
No.
That's not
so
for
you
me.
have to turn a lot of stuff off and make adjustments, like you said. And I said, I was just too lazy to go to the other room. The movie looks great. It's cleaned up well. I enjoyed it. You had said that this movie made you sad, was it?
This isn't the movie. See, I remember a Creature from the Black Lagoon. This is depressing for me at the end, but it's not the one that I thought it was. When I initially watched it, I thought I was watching one of their sequels to this. I got my movies mixed up is basically what happened. And one of the sequels is just so freaking sad to me. I put it in the same category as King Kong.
Oh, geez.
Like as a little kid, and even as an adult, I get a tear in my eye when King Kong is on the building getting shot at, like by the planes. I'm just like, nope, can't watch King Kong except once every 10 years, pull it out,
no, I
look
get
at
it.
the beauty of the stop motion. And then I'm talking
stop
about
motion,
even the stop
Fay
motion.
Ray. It's just,
I
that's
can
a
only
gorgeous
do
movie,
so much
too.
because it's like, why did you bring that poor thing out of the damn? It was
That's
perfectly
sad.
happy. The people were sacrificing perfectly happy. Everybody was perfectly happy, and you guys had to go fuck it up.
Yeah, that's what's, and that's one of the things that these movies, King Kong included, even though it's not the Universal slate here, they all do the same thing. They do a good job of painting humanity accurately, as we can be pretty horrible.
Yeah.
We can be some of the worst things on this planet. We are destroyers, and it's sad.
And in the same tone, especially Universal, and even with King Kong, they do have that. They have, humanity is a bunch of jerks.
But they also
have the humanity are really good people. Because you have some people going, don't just leave the big monkey on the island, dummy. Like he's not bothering anybody. Worst comes to worst. Tour. Take a tour. We'll throw bananas to the monkey. He'll be happy. They can't do that. They got to bring it to the city where it doesn't belong.
Right. And like in the new movies, you have the little deaf girl who with makes that connection, or Millie Bobby Brown and Godzilla, and and even the show Monarch, they try and show that there's people who actually care and actually give a shit. So you have to have that, and it's like every movie we watch, there's always that person. There's always that that show you the worst and somebody to show you the best, and the whole time you're hoping for the best, but it's going to end tragically.
Yeah, that's why Godzilla's wiping out cities and King Kong's fighting, and then it's just out of all the new not Universal, but who's doing the
Monsterverse,
Godzilla, American
Legendary.
Godzilla, Legendary? Out of all those films,
I think that's
I
it.
think my
Legendary. Yeah.
favorite is the very first Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
I do throw in the second Godzilla movie because of
That was
all
not
the
bad.
monsters.
Yeah.
That's cool. With King Ghidorah, that's just freaking awesome. You got Rodan, but my favorite out of all of them is Skull Island.
I need to watch Skull Island. I have not done Skull
You
Island
haven't
yet.
seen that yet?
Mm.
I highly recommend that because to me, that's like, wow, that's classic.
Cool.
That's they got you where you're like, just leave the big monkey alone, man. Just leave the big monkey alone. But it works. I think you'll. It's more of a story. There's in for Legendary.
Yeah.
That's the most story that you'll have in one of those movies for me.
Yeah. And that's why I liked Monarch, because it just dealt with a lot of story of things going on in there. Just like the stuff, the people you don't ever hear about, or Monarch to me reminded me of Agents of Shield. Here's a show
nice.
about,
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, that was a good series.
It was because you didn't have a superhero every time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I want to get back to this real quick.
Yes.
Before we say our perfect these, and that cat is just attacking you.
It's a baby kaiju.
Baby kaiju, Godzilla.
Catzilla.
Have you seen pictures of the designer? You've seen what she looks like.
Yes. Yes.
Did you notice Julie Adams, the girl who played Kay Lawrence, how much she looked like the designer?
Yes. Now that you mention it,
for a minute there, I had to go. That's what I was like looking on the phone for. So I didn't want you to think I'm ignoring you.
Yeah.
I pulled up IMDb. I'm like, I didn't look at the names as they were rolling because I came in here to get ready. So I was like, shit, is that the same? Is that the designer? But no, it's not.
No.
Julie Adams is the one who played. But folks, go find some pictures of the woman who designed the creature from the Black Lagoon, and then go look at the woman who played Kay Lawrence in the movie. She looks a lot like.
Yeah.
I'm stupefied. Richard Carlson played Dr. David Reed. Julie Adams was Kay Lawrence. You had Richard Denning as Dr. Mark Williams. I think that was the jerk.
Yeah,
doctor.
that was it. Mark was the jerk.
Yeah, Antonio Marino was Dr. Carl Maya. Nestor Pava was Captain Lucas. That was
my favorite character in the movie.
Yeah. Whit Bissell, big-time character actor, played Dr. Edwin Thomas. I think he was a jerk too. But what I was looking for, and if there's anybody out there that's watching this and has seen the movie, I was trying to find out if there was an Easter egg for the name Rita of the boat.
Huh.
But I couldn't. I was looking it up before
There's
we got
be
on.
something.
I didn't run across anything that said, the boat was named after so and so. The only person I could think of would be Rita Hayworth at the time.
Maybe.
At that point in time. But I didn't find anything on that. Yeah. So I was just wondering if, maybe it was the director's wife,
it was probably
girlfriend
somebody's kid.
Something. I don't know,
yeah.
but I never come across it. Here's something interesting. And anytime I can find any trivia about Forrest J. Ackerman. Forrest J. Ackerman, a horror and science fiction writer for Famous Monsters of Filmland magazine, bought the mask and claws of the creature's costume from a young man who had once used them as a Halloween costume.
Oh my.
Costume pieces were discarded by Universal after production had finished on the 3 films, Creature from the Black Lagoon and its 2 sequels.
Oh my
and
God.
Were later recovered from the studio's dumpster by a janitor. God bless this guy, who thought the ensemble would make a good Halloween costume for his son. Other costume pieces were recently sold at auction by Bud Westmore, who was an assistant to Millicent Patrick, the original designer of the costume. I just
Westmore.
think
that sounds like a
Bud Westmore. I think he's another designer.
I was going to say he sounds like that name
designer.
Sounds very familiar.
Yeah, it's just, and he was her assistant. I think that's great.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Andromeda Strain, Soylent Green, Creature from the Black Lagoon. Yeah.
Wow.
He did
Very
Rosemary
cool.
Lane. Yeah, he did a lot of stuff. That's cool. But anything I see about Forrest J. Ackerman, I'm going to read, because he was very, very hands-on with the old school monsters, especially.
Yeah.
Very interesting guy. If anybody wants to read about a really interesting guy, that's the guy to look for, Forrest J. Ackerman. Okay,
very cool.
That's all I had.
All right. So, folks, this is a Universal monster film. You know what you're going to get. You're going to get a classic film. It's well done, well shot, well acted, good story. I definitely say watch it. You can't go wrong with the classics. They're timeless, man. It's always, you think, oh, I'm getting into this old 70-year-old movie. It's going to, not appeal, but it does. It checks all the boxes. So, yes, I definitely recommend it.
And so do I. And if you're used to Universal monster movie endings, this one has a little bit different ending. This one doesn't just cut end the end. This one has a little bit of a I don't want to say downer ending, but a little bit more upbeat, kind of downer, kind of depressing. They didn't need to make the other two movies, in my opinion, but they did because money.
Hey, this one obviously made money, and they're like, hey, let's do more.
Yeah. But yeah, this is a good movie. I enjoy this movie a lot. It's one of the sequels. I don't remember which sequel it is that really breaks my heart to watch.
Oh, damn.
So I don't think I'll probably be even the second one. Guess who was in the second one? First movie.
Who's that?
Clint Eastwood.
Really?
The sequel to the second movie is Clint Eastwood's first movie.
Oh, damn. Very cool. Very cool. So, folks, if you like our show, hold on. I've got a rogue cat just unplugging shit as we talk.
All I see is a tail hitting you in the face.
Come here, you. Hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe. He's a tornado.
That's right. The cat's looking around like, I'm going to get you.
Hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe, share us, tell a friend, check us out on Rumble, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you get your podcast. And I have many tiny 1-minute reviews up on TikTok. So head on over there, look up old ass movie reviews. There's movie review videos and cat videos. So, hey, what more could you want?
Awesome. You will not find me on TikTok. I do not do TikTok.
Understood.
I don't have a bosom. I don't shake my butt. I
don't either. I'm on long enough to drop a video. And we will.
He's dropping the bomb. Boom, boom.
Catch you next week. As always, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
Cheers, folks.